All right, let's talk about one of the smartest animals out there. And you might not even have to go to a zoo to see one. We're talking about the super smart, super sly red fox. You know that moment, maybe you're looking out your window at night and you see it. Just for a second, a flash of red fur and a big bushy tail before it vanishes. What was that? Well, there's a really good chance you just saw the animal we're going to talk all about today. Okay, so first things first, let's get to know this clever creature. And here's a fun fact to start us off. I bet you already know one of its closest cousins. You know, in all those old stories and cartoons, the fox is always the smart, sneaky one, right? The trickster. Well, it turns out that's not just make-believe. That whole reputation comes from how unbelievably good they are at surviving in the real world. So, who's that cousin I mentioned? Get this. It's your dog. No, seriously. Foxes and dogs are in the exact same animal family, called Canidae. So it's kind of like your dog is the super friendly, cuddly best friend, and the fox is its wild cousin who's an expert at living out in the big, wide world. So, speaking of living in the wild, where exactly do they live? This is one of the coolest things about them. A huge reason they're so successful is that they can make a home, well, pretty much anywhere they want. And when I say anywhere, I really mean it. We're talking deep, dark forests, super hot deserts, even the freezing cold of the Arctic. That ability to just figure it out and make it work wherever they are, that's what makes them such incredible survivors. You see, as our cities have gotten bigger and bigger, a lot of animals have had a tough time. But the fox looked at our cities and thought, opportunity. They've cleverly figured out how to live right alongside us, in our parks and even our backyards. It's just more proof of how smart they really are. Okay, but wait a minute. If they're living in a city, what are they eating? There aren't a lot of rabbits hopping down Main Street. And that brings us to our next big question. What's for dinner when you're a fox? So there's a big science-y word for what a fox is. They're an opportunistic eater. But all that really means is they are not picky, not at all. For a fox, the rule is pretty simple. If you can eat it and you can find it, it's on the menu. Now, if a fox is out in the forest, its dinner plate is pretty full. They're amazing hunters, right? So they'll catch mice, rabbits, even birds. But they're not just about the meat. They'll also munch on some bird eggs, wild berries, and even veggies. But in the city, the menu gets a total makeover. That trash can you put out on the sidewalk, to a fox, that's like an all-you-can-eat buffet of leftovers. That bowl of food you left out for your cat? Perfect, an easy dinner. This is that cleverness we've been talking about, right? In action. They've learned to spot the opportunities we humans leave all over the place. Okay, so they're finding food in the city, but how do they do it without us seeing them all the time? Well, they have a secret. They do almost all their work after we've gone to bed. It's like they have these amazing nighttime superpowers. And that really makes you wonder, right? If they're living in our neighborhoods, sometimes in our own backyards, how come we almost never see them during the day? Because they choose to. It's another one of their brilliant tricks. They figured out that cities are loud and full of people during the day. So what do? They just flip their whole schedule around. They wait for things to get quiet and for us to go inside. And that's when their day begins. And they are perfectly built for a life in the dark. It's like they have built-in night vision goggles. Their eyes are amazing at seeing when there's barely any light. And those big pointy ears, they're not just for looks. They are so powerful, a fox can hear a tiny little mouse squeaking underground. Just think about that for a second. How in the world do you catch something you can't even see that's buried under the dirt or snow? Well, this is where the fox shows off its most famous, most incredible move. It's the super pounce. Here's how it works. First, they use those super ears to listen until they know the exact spot. Then, they leap straight up into the air. And finally, they pounce, diving headfirst right down on top of their hidden snack. It's a total surprise attack. But wait, it gets even cooler. Scientists have this wild idea. They think foxes have a secret weapon for aiming. They believe foxes can actually feel the Earth's magnetic field. You know, the same thing that makes a compass point north. They might be using it like a built-in targeting computer to make sure their pounce is perfect every single time. I mean, how incredible is that? So when you put it all together, their adaptability, their diet, their night superpowers,
It makes the fox the ultimate survivor. And this isn't something they just learned. They have been this clever for a long, long time.
And I mean a really long time. We've found fossils that show foxes have been around using their smarts to get by for millions of years. It's that brain power that has let them stick around for so long.
But, even for an animal this smart and this good at surviving, life in the wild is still really tough. Especially now that they live so close to us, they have to worry about things like traffic and finding a safe, quiet place to call home. It's so tough, in fact, that most foxes in the wild only live for about 2 to 4 years. That's it, which really makes you appreciate just how amazing they are to be able to learn all these things, find food, and raise their own little fox families in such a short amount of time.
So next time you're looking out the window and you see that flash of red, take a second and really wonder, what's it doing right now? Is it using its super hearing to find a mouse? Is it on its way to its favorite trash can buffet? What super smart, super sly thing is that fox up to right at this very moment?